Warning. On this podcast, we take the cases seriously, but not ourselves.
Although, we may attempt to lighten the mood at times.
Our episodes contain graphic descriptions that some listeners may find disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. That's the second time you've whacked your elbow today.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happened to me yesterday. Well, you already know. I'll tell the listeners what happened to me yesterday. I woke up and my arm was completely numb. Now, I'm not saying numb. You know when you lean on your arm and it gets a bit numb? No, it felt independent from my body.
Yeah.
So Norman woke me up to go for a diddle. So I jumped out of bed and my arm just swung.
That's urinate to normal people.
Or a piddle, you know, diddle or a piddle. Anyway, got out of bed, my arm just swung as if independent, right? And I've got like a mirror on my side of the bed, like a kind of, not a full length mirror, but like I saw my arm in the corner of my eye just swinging. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, it was so weird. I literally picked up my arm.
Yeah.
There was nothing, there was nothing, my arm was there, but it wasn't there.
Yeah. Happens to me all the time.
I've never had that
on
before.
it.
No, but I've slept on my arm. It's been numb. This was complete. It was shot. It actually freaked me out a bit. I didn't like it. That was insane. Like, it was just this heavy appendage on my body. It wasn't my arm. Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
Like I said, it freaked me out and it made me think of, people have that condition. I cannot remember what it's called now. But you know when they feel like, a part of their body, one of their limbs or something doesn't belong to them. It's not meant to be on their body, or they feel like they're dying. Do you remember we talked about that before?
Amputees?
No, that's when it's actually been removed.
Oh.
Yeah. No, but again, apologies, can't remember what it's called, but I kept thinking of that condition because I just felt like this is foreign to me. This is not meant to be there. It felt awful. I did not like it. And what's really funny to me is...
You're walking around like Jim Carrey.
It was awful. Now, the feeling came back very quickly. I made sure it did before it with Norm, so I was a bit freaked out. I was like, what the fuck's happening? Am I dying? But what's funny to me, I was thinking about the first time I ever got an injection in the dentist. I was an adult. You remember it. Yes. I was with you when I first got it done. And when I walked out of there, I couldn't stop laughing. I thought it was so funny that my speech was all like slurred. My gob was just fucked. Yeah. You know, that doesn't sound great. Yeah, I thought it was hilarious. This time, not so much. I was very upset. And you're like, oh, that happens. I'm like, does it? Completely numb.
Yes.
Your entire arm. You can't feel anything. Shoulder down to your fingertips.
Yes. That's not, I thought you were talking about dentists.
No.
But no, that where your arm. Yeah, that's normal. You slept on it.
But I sleep on my side all the time.
No, you sleep on your side. There's a difference if you're like laid on your front.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know.
There's no circulation.
I don't know. A certain way I sleep, it happens to me, I'd say on average, once a fortnight.
Jesus.
And it's horrible.
I do not like, you've never said this to me.
I have.
No, you said my arm's gone numb.
I said like rub me forearm or something, because I can't.
No, but like, that's what I mean. Like when mine goes numb, I can still lift, there's still something, it's more of a pins and needles type numb. This was shot to shit, is what I'm saying to you. Like, it freaked me out.
Ah, you're fucked.
I tell you what's another bad one.
I know exactly what
you
you're
know
going
what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Fucking cramping your calf.
Yes.
Now, Neil always complains about this. He gets them, well, no, you haven't had them for a while, but you have had them regularly enough.
When I used to do a delivery job, delivering furniture to houses, because I were up and down stairs carrying a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Nearly every night.
Yeah.
I'd just wake up in this. It's the worst pain I've ever been in. And I've been in some fucking pain. And it's enough. You just wake up screaming.
Yeah. It happened to me about 4 years ago, maybe. It was a while back now.
Yeah.
And I literally
scared the shit out of me.
I literally woke up screaming in pain. I wouldn't say it's the worst pain I've ever felt necessarily. It's the shock of it. That's what makes it so much worse.
It's fucking horrible.
No, it is. It is really painful. But it's the shock. It jolts you to wake up screaming
Yeah.
pain.
Think of me laid next to you.
I knew it would come back around to you. Yeah, it's very jarring. Like in that moment, right? Because you're always so dramatic about everything. Yeah. If you get a pain, you'll be like, yeah, fucking cut it off, cut off my arm. No, that time I understood what you were saying. If I have that, like in that moment, I was like, cut it off, just cut by the knee.
Yeah.
Get it fucking off.
Yeah.
Awful.
Because I remember when I first started talking to you, because you told me that your mum were a masseuse. So I was like...
I never said she was a masseuse.
What?
I never said she was a masseuse.
Trained in masseuse then?
Massage therapist. I would never use the word masseuse.
Tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so I remember I asked you, I was like, tell her what I'm going through. And because I can't continue with this. It was fucking nearly every single night.
Yeah. I'm not like, I understand it's painful. It's just the way you say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were like, dig your thumb into it. I got to the point where I was full on haymaker and fucking full on swinging, punching myself in the calf, and it was doing nothing.
Well, no one told you to do that. I was just passing on the advice that I was given to give to you.
Yeah, well, bollocks. Load of bollocks.
What would you rather go through? Waking up with a completely numb arm, yeah? Or leg cramp, but you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen in 5 minutes' time.
No, ma'am. That is probably the stupidest question you've ever asked me. I think
I'd rather go through the pain than the unexpected numb limb. That freaked me out. I did not like it.
That is the dumbest thing you've ever said. You would rather have cramp in your calf.
I know it's bad, but if I know pain is coming, like I've said to you, yeah, no one likes going to the doctors. No one likes going to the hospital. But if I know what the procedure is, if I know what I'm going to have to go through, I don't want to do it, but I'm okay. I can get through it. When I don't know,
the opposite.
If I don't know what's coming and I don't know what the level of pain is going to be, my anxiety goes up.
Doesn't matter if I know or don't know. I'm panicking.
Yeah.
That's where me and you are different.
Mm-hmm. You don't like doctors.
Fucking hate them. Not personally. It's just...
I mean, to be fair, right, I always feel like you kind of perpetuate that narrative, like this kind of like evil doctor thing. But I have to give it to you with some of the shit we've talked about in this podcast. There is some room for concern.
Coming in a coffee.
That was awful, that was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's no good.
Imagine drinking that.
I'd rather not.
Right, before we start, just in case the audio is not as good, we apologise, but we have a fan on because it's fucking hot.
It's too hot.
It might be too hot.
Might be.
So yeah, grim and bear it.
Grim and bear it.
Yeah.
Grin.
What?
I think actually grim and bear it is kind of, you might be starting something now with the content of the show.
It is grim and bear it.
Grin and bear it.
Is that
bear the grin?
Is that a merch idea?
It could be, actually, yes.
Grim and bear it.
TM.
What?
TM. Trademark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Copyright and that.
All that jazz.
Yeah. So, what have you got for us today?
Well, you know what I've got for you today.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
We're back.
Fuck.
We're back for the fourth and final episode of Peter Sutcliffe, also known as the Yorkshire Ripper.
He wasn't from Sunderland.
No, he was not.
He wasn't Jack the Ripper.
No, he was not. P. Suts, the Yorkshire Ripper.
Yeah.
Trying to make it a thing.
So he got caught?
Yes, eventually, yes.
Well, no, it's not eventually. In this episode.
Yeah, but you're saying he's got caught. We haven't got there yet. You got to give it a moment.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, we've talked about his background. We've talked about the attacks, the murders. Now we're going to talk about the investigation, his arrest, his upcoming arrest at this point of the episode, and the trial. So where we left the last episode, Peter had committed his final murder. Her name was Jacqueline Hill, and Jacqueline did not work in sex work, same as many of the women who he had attacked. But because the police were so certain that his motive was a hatred of sex workers, they discredited that he could have possibly attacked a woman or girl outside of this line of work.
Took him 5 years. Thick fox.
Mm. Now, would you believe it, Neil, if I told you that over the course of the investigation, Peter was interviewed 9 times by the police, with his last interview being on the 7th of February 1980.
And they didn't look at his boots and gone, size 7 Dunlop. Well is.
Oh, I mean...
Beard. Dark hair.
There were people in the police who were like, this is the guy. We need to be looking at him. But he wasn't from Sunderland, so fuck me, right?
So just because he had a northern accent?
I mean, he was overlooked, 9 times, Neil. He was overlooked multiple times. But there was people who were very, like, we need to look at this guy.
So he was walking around with the wellies on, he was driving the car. They could have done tyre fucking checks. There
were so many things. But I'm going to read you a quote now that will kind of put into perspective where they're at. So this was in January of 1978. It was said, quote, "I personally don't believe that we have yet met the killer in our multitude of interviews. When we do, I am positive we will realise and nail him."
And you had him 9 times?
9 times, like. Well, not 9 by this stage, but, you know, that you've interviewed him a healthy dose. So yeah, that they're very confident in their abilities. It goes, they're on a completely different fucking page. Do you know what I mean?
Just because of some needy little twat bag who thought it would be a good idea to send letters.
I mean, when you think about it, by the time those letters were sent, this had been going on years already. So, again, like I said, it's not solely on that. That was just that was a horrific part of it that really distracted them, but they weren't doing great to begin with.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, they were just looking for someone killing sex workers.
Yeah, so just what I'm saying to you is, as horrific as it was that those letters were sent, you can't put all the blame on that. They were not doing a good job. Now, although the investigation was incredibly poorly handled, a detail that does need to be remembered is that this was all before modern computer databases, and the information was all written by hand. This was also the largest manhunt that there had ever been in the UK, and incredibly demanding. They simply were not prepared for an operation of this magnitude. So, when I speak of the poorly handled investigation, it's not to downplay the incredible amount of effort that was put in by a hell of a lot of people working on the case. It more so is to take aim at the egos of those in command of the investigation.
The ego and the ignorance, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Now, by the time the 7th woman had been killed, an appeal was made to the public to raise a £30,000 reward leading to the arrest of the Ripper. A televised appeal was also made directly to the killer, but little did they know, he had already killed another, Yvonne Pearson.
30 grand in 70s, that's handy.
It is. The thing about it is...
That's an house, I think. I think in the 70s, 35 grand would get you an house.
Yeah, north of England. Get you 2 houses. Get you a swimming pool. So when police were looking for men who were known to frequent multiple red light districts, it was noted that some men would use their wives' cars instead of their own.
Dirty bastards.
Yeah. And, the police would have to go to their homes to make inquiries, and, of course, they would have to be particularly sensitive about this issue. Could you imagine walking in someone's house? You're not trying to put them on blast and kind of have a big thing. You're not there for that.
I would.
No, but it doesn't matter your opinion, and you can't do that at every house. You can't get into that every single time. As much as you may want to drop him in it, you can't do that. Or even if you did, who's to say the wife isn't going to turn on you?
Why would she turn on you?
Because she may think you're casting aspersions about her fella.
In the 70s, everyone did it, didn't they?
Did they? Yeah. Style at the time, wasn't it? Now, this is something you actually asked me about yourself after watching your show. Police women, they also put themselves in particularly precarious positions by posing as sex workers. They did this while under observation, and they were to never enter a vehicle. But still, I'd imagine it was extremely nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Over the space of a year, 150 officers had been checking cars among various red light districts. Amongst the cars noted, a black Sunbeam Rapier had been seen twice in Leeds, once in Manchester, and 36 times in Bradford.
So they lived in Bradford.
Yeah, well, this particular car was registered to a man named Peter Sutcliffe. So, with that, Petey was interviewed. During this interview, the officers noticed the striking resemblance to the Marilyn Moore photo fit, as well as the gap in his teeth, which had previously been mentioned, and his shoe size. They fucking knew it was him. But the senior investigating officer, Dick Holland, he was still set on the killer being from Sunderland, as we had mentioned previously.
Yeah. Yeah, so what I saw on the show, the only time you've seen Peter Sutcliffe is they went round to his house and interviewed him.
Yeah.
And they said, what size shoe are you? And he went, 8. He either said 8 or 8.5. And they went, would you wear a size 7 welly? And he went, why would I do that?
Yeah. Now, obviously we know Peter would have been lying and that was a dramatisation of the show, but you would only ever go up in a welly size, wouldn't you? You'd never go down.
Yeah, but what they were trying to say, when they figured out that it could have been a truck driver, what they said on the drama is maybe it's what was available. Truck drivers just grabbing wellies at work.
I know, but you couldn't be wearing a welly boot too small for you. You'd be in agony.
Size and a half.
Oh,
be crippled.
Your foot will be completely numb.
You'd be getting cramp in the night.
So to do with the letters, I think you've really honed in on that. That's really put you out.
Yeah, not funny at all.
Yeah, and we already know the letters were a hoax. And they did later realise that whoever was writing these letters was just ripping off the Jack the Ripper letters. Not only did the fool sign the letters off as Jack the Ripper, but there was similarities in the writing. In the actual Jack the Ripper letter, quote, that joke about the leather apron gave me fits. In the Wareside Jack letter, he wrote, quote, that photo in the paper gave me fits. You know, it's not only obviously similar, but you don't it wouldn't be as common to speak like that.
Yeah.
You know, anymore. Now, they were told by multiple people involved in the investigation to let the letters go, but as we previously said, they, or their egos, refused to do so. When Jean Jordan was found, she had a £5 note on her which had been given to her by the killer. They tried to trace it, but this was an enormous task. Now, remember when Peter revisited Jean's body? At this time, Peter did have an alibi. And this was provided by his family, who he had spent the evening together with at Peter and Sonia's housewarming party.
So how does that work?
Exactly. It's a fairly good alibi, but you see, after the party, Peter had dropped his family home in Bingley, and then while out, he bombed back to Manchester to visit Jean's body. And that was why he'd inflicted such horrific mutilation to her body. It was out of anger that he could not locate the £5 note.
Bombed back? That's still about Bradford.
Yeah, I know. It's not like it's not a quick spin.
About 45 minutes an hour.
But like,
maybe?
say Peter said he got into car trouble or something. The point is, he had many witnesses say where he was that night. And then if he just fucking went out, and maybe Sonia didn't think about it. She, you know, it was just, oh yeah, he's out dropping them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can see how it appeared a certain way.
Yeah.
Now, 2 years later, Manchester police tried again to trace the note, and they had managed to narrow down the list of workers whose pay packet could have included that specific note. The list of 8,000 was reduced down to just 241, and number 76 on that list was Peter Sutcliffe. So Manchester police requested that West Yorkshire police check all 241 names against their files. But when they checked their files, Peter's name was not there. Now, this oversight was later reviewed in the Byford report. It was determined that Peter's name had either been searched and overlooked, or that his papers had been taken out of the file and they had not left a card to say that they had been taken out.
Right.
So, a simple mistake, but a very high risk mistake to make, and one that did have devastating results.
Yeah.
Another flub was that Peter's details had also been mistakenly split between 4 different index cards.
How?
They, again, like I said, this was an enormous task, all handwritten. It went on for years.
Yeah.
They were saying they had to reinforce the building where they're holding the file, like the room where they're holding the files. It was that much weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I'm saying to you is, it's not okay that this happened, but human error happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like, I don't want to keep going on about that drama. But yeah, they did say that about reinforcing the building, but I thought that was a joke. To do with the index cards, yeah, they were training someone up, and it were like, you answer the phone, and if they're from this area, goes on this index card.
Mm-hmm.
If they drive this car, goes on this index card. If they're from that area and they drive that car, then it goes on this index card and it goes in that. And it was just like, even watching this, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, like,
It's a lot.
Peter's name is all over this investigation, and there's so many different elements where you can kind of cross-reference him.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I'm sure there was plenty of other men who fell into that category, but had there not been these fuck-ups, you know what I mean? That's what kind of sticks in my mind. It's like, fucking hell, had it not just been for that, like,
Yeah.
you could have, I mean, that's even excusing the fucking horrific investigation, all these little things, and it's just like, it was just a perfect fucking shitstorm for him to keep going.
But you know what went through my head when they were on about the index cards? Have you not heard a sheet of A4 with tick boxes on?
What do you mean?
Well, like, so, your name, Peter Sutcliffe. Does he live in this area? Yes. Does he drive this car? Yes. Does he have size 7 feet? Yes. Like, tick boxes all on the one sheet.
But
Why
it was
is
accidentally split between 4. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't obviously their intention. Do you know what I mean? In the first few weeks of 1980, Peter was interviewed for the 7th, 8th, and 9th time. He was subsequently eliminated as a suspect. So not only 3 in the space of a few weeks, eliminated.
Fucking hell.
How? How could he have possibly been eliminated?
Because he went from Sunderland.
No, but it doesn't fucking matter. You keep going back to this person, even if you're fairly certain it's not him. Put him on the sideline.
Yeah.
So I think it goes without saying, the investigation into the Yorkshire Ripper was abysmal. Not just for the inability to consider alternative theories or oversights caused by human error, but also for the fact that it was disgustingly prejudiced and rife with misogyny. For example, this was what the police had wrote about Anna. Quote, "She is a very heavy drinker and has been cohabiting with a number of men. She has a history of mental instability. In July of 1975, she was associating with a local man who had moved into her home. She was apparently unhappy with her sexual relationship and left home on the night of Friday, the 4th of July 1975, saying she was going to Bradford to see her Jamaican boyfriend. She visited Bradford that night and had some drink. About midnight, she left Bibby's club and got a lift in a car with 2 Jamaicans who took her back to Keighley and dropped her off home."
Keighley.
Yes. Now, Anna was not known to be a heavy drinker or have a history of mental instability, nor did her boyfriend live with her. And the whole Jamaican thing, I don't think we even really need to address it. I think it's just obvious racist bullshit. Anna did comment on this though, and she said, quote, "I don't go around the pubs. I never have done in my life. I'm not a gallivanting woman. I choose my men carefully, and they're few and far between." Now,
She sounds a bit defensive.
What?
She sounds a bit defensive.
Would you not be?
I don't go drinking. That means you do.
Are you being serious?
But
I have a completely different take on it. My take is that it breaks my heart that Anna even felt the need to have to try and defend herself against these claims. I think it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Would you not, like, just put yourself in that situation? People have, like, made this big statement about you.
That I like to go for a drink?
No, but it's different the way they're phrasing it. It's not saying that, oh, every Friday she would, attend this pub. That was part of her routine. It was, she was going out drinking. She was with a load of different men and all this kind of carry on.
Yeah.
They're trying to paint her to look a certain way.
Right, okay.
You're going to get your back up a bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're nearly coming for Anna then, weren't you? In Chief Constable Ronald Gregory's memoir, he referred to Olive having been involved in sex work, which was not true. Olive responded by saying, quote, "Of all the things that have happened since Sutcliffe ruined my life, this was without a doubt the worst. I was horrified, and Harry just couldn't take it anymore." She also said, quote, "If anything was guaranteed to make the Ripper stigma stick to me for good, that was it."
Couldn't all these women sue for slander?
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
It's like, that were one bit what stood out to me. Again, I'm bringing the drama up. When you were talking about your one who ended up spending about 75 quid?
Yeah, Maureen.
Yeah. So they took her, that scene was happening.
Yeah.
And she just looks really uncomfortable and saying she wants to go home. And they're going, why? Can you not see him? And she went, no, but everyone's looking at me because they think I'm a sex worker.
Yeah.
Like, the police have put that in because I'm a victim of him.
Yeah.
They think I'm a sex worker.
Like Olive said, there's now a stigma attached to these women.
Yeah.
I tell you one thing, this Ronald, he really annoyed the crap out of me. He said of Jacqueline's bag being found with the blood on it. Remember that?
Yeah.
Quote, He
took it home, didn't he?
No.
I thought he found the bag and he took it home and then he found blood on it.
That was a student.
Oh. Who are you on about?
Ronald Gregory, he was the chief constable.
Okay.
So, of Jacqueline's bag being found with the blood on it, he said, quote, "They, meaning the police, obviously did not imagine that small bloodstains on a found handbag was evidence of murder." Like, okay, generally I would take your point, but this is fucking Leeds in the midst of the Yorkshire Rippers activity. What the fuck are you talking about, Ronald? Yeah. Anything like that should raise an eyebrow. It should cause concern.
Yeah.
Now, it was said of Wilma, quote, "Drank too much, was noisy and sexually promiscuous. She distributed her favours widely." So instead of looking at Wilma as someone who was more of a vulnerable person, they chose to use certain details about her life to villainise her. There's absolutely no compassion or understanding for her in that statement.
It's like the police are saying, what did you expect to happen?
Yeah,
you were asking for it.
Oh, basically.
Yeah.
Wait till I read you the next bit. Trevor Lapish, Detective Chief Superintendent, said, quote, "I would have thought that prostitutes would have been on the run. I would have thought they would have been leaving this area in dozens and dozens. There's no real evidence to support that that is so. They are staying and they are still walking the streets, and unfortunately, they aren't being very intelligent about it."
What do you want them to fucking do?
So basically exactly what you've just said.
Yeah, but like, if they had the money, I'm sure they would have upped to move to another city to carry on.
They've got to work.
They've got to work. They've got to provide for the fucking kids, usually, or a drug addiction. Like, what does he want them to do?
Yeah. That was the attitude. Trevor also kept referring to these women and girls as either a prostitute or a completely innocent victim. You're one or the other in this investigation.
Do you know if I was one of the prostitutes, do you know what I'd have said? Do you know, instead of us stopping doing our job, why don't you do yours?
Exactly. Now, if I'm to be very fair to this man, I can understand if it was a slip up, right? And hear me out.
Mm.
I mean that in terms of if he's referencing the women who had a conviction for prostitution, right? So in terms of quote unquote innocent. Yeah?
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there when it comes to someone attacking or murdering them.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So if he had slipped up and said that once, he said it multiple times though. He kept saying it.
Yeah.
And he went on to say, this is the real kicker, there's no difference between the two in the eyes of a senior investigating officer. He said the job is exactly the same, but the feelings are deeper.
How?
He cares more if they're not a sex worker who has been murdered.
Yeah, he openly said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
South Yorkshire Police wouldn't have said that.
Now, that was a few years back when he was interviewed.
Mm.
I'm not saying that makes it okay by any stretch, but obviously if he had been saying that in 2026 on a documentary, they would have either cut it or they would have ran with it.
Yeah.
It would have become a massive thing.
Mm.
But this was on a documentary from 1999. And he was kind of, say what you want, Trevor. Go on. The thing is, though, this isn't isolated to Trevor. They really like to use words like innocent, decent, and respectable in regards to those who were not in sex work. But a lot of these women were either not in sex work or sold sex when needed. So, because we're using the word sex work, she was supporting herself through sex work, yeah?
Yeah.
I think that's where it can kind of get a little bit muddled for people. They hear that so often. If I was to put it in its most simple terms to get people to understand, just because I sell a sofa on Facebook Marketplace doesn't make me the CEO of fucking DFS. Do you get what I mean? You're doing it in that moment because you need the cash.
Well, the other issue,
get me?
the other issue I have is with these cops who are there, basically downplaying it when it's a sex worker because they have an issue. They see it as seedy and dirty, but they'll go to a strip club.
Yeah. How many of them are going to sex workers themselves?
Yeah.
I mean, that is really the point here, though, isn't it? These women were labelled a certain way, not because they necessarily fit the profile, but because they wanted them to fit the profile.
Mm.
What they did was incredibly dangerous. All women were at risk, but they were falsely led to believe that they were safe based solely on the fact that they were not in that line of work. The reality is, Peter was attacking women full stop. Some of them were in sex work, which is not surprising given the amount of time Peter spent lurking around the red light districts, as well as seeking out their services.
Yeah, it's an easy target to get in your car.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. Giving false hope to a female in Bradford who was not a sex worker. She's like, well, I'm all right because I'm not a sex worker.
Yeah, I mean, there is footage of, neighbours of Jane McDonald. And they're kind of, lovely girl, she's so sweet. She wasn't like the other women. And as bad as that sounds in hindsight, they'd been led to believe that they and Jane were going to be safe.
Yeah.
So, again, it sounds bad, but from their perspective, they're thinking, why has he attacked her?
Yeah.
How has that happened? Assistant Chief Constable George Oldfield said in an appeal to the public, quote, I think it was a mistake that he attacked Jane McDonald. Probably in her case, he mistook her for being a lady of the streets because she was out in that area at the time she was.
Don't fucking put it on her. He was going for anyone.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't fucking matter.
He was going for... I don't know how to without sounding tactless. He was going for availability.
Yeah, he was in the air at the time he saw her, or in some cases, it was very definitely obvious he was stalking certain women.
Yeah.
Now, George goes on to describe Jane as an innocent woman, insinuating that sex workers and their attacks or murders are less important or less upsetting than others, which is, if you haven't guessed already, a common theme in this case.
Yeah. Well, a lot of cases.
Well, yes.
Would you, like, it's probably better now, but would you say it's still a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, even just with women being attacked in general, if you're to go to court, and someone's charged with rape, it's the woman who's on trial, not the man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me when I first moved over here, you were telling me about a case. And yeah, the woman, she was a rape victim, and she was getting interrogated in the courtroom like, you were wearing a thong. Why were you wearing a thong?
Yeah, this was a teenager as well. And, you know, because there was massive uproar, especially from women, they were particularly upset. I'd love to say men were getting more upset, but I didn't see as much of it. And women were speaking up going, there's a reason she was wearing that underwear. It's, you know, 3 for $2.50 in pennies.
Yeah.
You know, like, what do you want from her?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Jane, when she was murdered, it did change a lot of people's perspectives. This was a 16-year-old girl murdered essentially in a playground. It challenged their perception of who the victim type was. The illusion that they or their loved ones were saved solely because they were not in sex work, well, that was shattered. It was gone. Now, we mentioned in the last episode, after the Jacqueline Hill murder, the Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, she wanted to go to Leeds to sort out the investigation herself. It was also after Jacqueline's murder that others were brought in to tackle the investigation. One member of the team was Andrew Sloan, and he said that he knew of good, diligent detectives, and even they could become almost punch drunk from having been banging their heads against the wall. So he's trying to be a bit more fair. It's been going on years. You're no further. And I do take his point.
Yeah.
But.
I can take his point. You are eventually going to get punch drunk if you're repeatedly banging your head against a wall.
But I also feel like they chose to repeatedly do that.
Like self-harming.
No. They chose to hyperfixate on certain elements and go down that avenue.
Yeah.
Even when they're being told, don't. Or still look into that, but also look here as well.
Yeah.
Forensic scientist Stuart Kind, he drew up a graph and compared the times to the locations and the time of year of each of the murders. He came up with a theory that the Ripper most likely lived in the Bradford area, Manningham or Shipley. And Peter did live between Manningham and Shipley.
Oh, so they got one thing right.
They got one thing. Good old Stuart.
Yeah.
Good old Stu.
Stuart Kind.
You got an issue, or you want to say something?
No, why?
Use the way you say kind, like you're like, oh, kind. Not a fan of that name, or?
It's not like popular name, is it?
Not particularly, no. Not that I'm aware of.
I'm sure I could come up with a joke.
Can I ask you as well, am I saying Manningham? Am I pronouncing the ham part too severely?
Manningham.
It's Manningham.
Yeah.
Not Manningham. Why don't you correct me? When I was listening back to the last episode, I was like, I'm really punching the ham part.
Well, I know you're not English, you're Irish, but you wouldn't say Birmingham.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Birmingham, yeah.
Yeah. Manningham.
Yeah, no, I know that, but it was only after I listened to it back, I was like, why am I saying it like that? But you never corrected me. I was like, oh, maybe I'm right.
No, just leave you to it.
You keep correcting me about Keighley, but Manningham.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that sounds perfect. That's great.
It's the same as if I was co-hosting this with a Yank.
Yeah.
They would keep saying it. It doesn't matter how many times I fucking correct them.
Yeah, but
they keep saying it.
But you still in this episode trying to correct me over Keighley.
Because Keighley.
No, but that's your accent. That's not even you're correcting me.
This is a Yorkshire case.
You're wanting to correct me. Manningham, you're like, leave her to it. She'll never learn. So apologies to anyone listening who's like, why is she saying it like that? Yeah. Oh, well. So over the years, Neil, how many hours do you reckon were put into the investigation?
How am I supposed to work that out?
Do you have a rough number?
We're talking like 5-6 years. How many hours?
Yeah. You don't have to have a guess if you don't want.
A for mil.
The investigation saw 5,000 officers work over 2 million hours.
Fucking hell.
That's a lot, isn't it? But then I thought when you break it down over 5,000 people and the length of time.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually seem that much. I'm not saying it doesn't seem that much, but it's the 2 million sounds very jarring, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wonder how their pay works. Like,
what?
Coppers.
Yeah.
I wonder how their pay works. Like... So,
what do you mean with the overtime?
Well, yeah, because you say with me and you, yeah, if we were doing
You and I.
You know, we do 8 hour, yeah? But if we were to do 2 hours extra, you get paid 2 hours overtime.
Yeah.
But we can turn around and go, shove it up your ass. We don't want to do any overtime.
Yeah.
I don't think coppers can. I think if you're needed, you're needed.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're just all salaried.
Probably. I mean, I suppose it depends what level you're at. I'd say salary pay was probably more common a few years back. Don't quote me now.
Well, no, it was brown envelope, cash, weren't it? That was more popular.
Yeah, but what I mean is, this is your lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be pulling that out of my arse, but I do take the point you're making. It probably would have just been tough shit.
Yeah, you imagine if a detective came in and they were like, you know, he's getting to the end of a shift and like, where do you think you're going? You're going to have to stay. Kiss me ass.
Mm-hmm.
We're only looking for someone who's killing sex workers. They want to come out at night. Do you get what I mean? They could have been like, why are we wasting our time during the day? He's not going to be out. He's only going for sex workers.
But that's the different parts of the investigation. One is like boots on the ground.
The Dunlop wellies, size 7.
Well, I mean, they might have been wearing them as well. Probably not, though, because you probably avoid those shoes at all cost.
Yeah.
Now, you know. But there's people who are out. What do they say? On the beat? Is that it? Is that what they say?
On the beat.
On the beat.
Yeah.
And then there's the paperwork side of it. You got the office workers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably just take it on. Take computer on.
It wasn't on a computer, though. Do you know what I mean? It was by hand.
I'd take the phone.
Why would you take a computer home? And you're trying to... Do you think they're going to fucking put that under their arm and walk out the building? Have a word with yourself. Now, remember Peter's mate, old shite-hawk Trevor? Well, Trevor did eventually step up.
After all these years?
Yeah. After the murder of Jacqueline Hill, Trevor began to piece things together.
Now he's starting to piece it. He was sat in the fucking car.
Look, he did, there was a few things he was putting together over time.
He's a smart guy.
But it was after the murder of Jacqueline that he was like, nah, this is a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
You know?
13 now. It's him.
That was Peter's favourite number, you see.
Yeah. 12. Nah, not PD.
No,
not PD.
In fairness, he was starting to put things together. You know, I was like, well, this is a bit odd. And he, you know, X, Y, and Z. But it was then, after Jacqueline's murder, that Trevor decided to send a letter to the police in November of 1980.
So what was it? He knew Sutcliffe had gone to that area or something?
No, he just knew of different things. Trevor was there the night he attacked that woman. You know, there was a lot of balls all over the place, Neil.
Yeah.
You know? He also, you brought it up to me again, you watching your show. I wish you hadn't watched that because we were going to keep referring back to it and the questions you've asked me. But you mentioned that they had set up a phone line where people could go and listen to the audio tape from the Wearside, or from Wearside Jack.
Yeah, free call line. Thought that was a good idea.
Yes, and Trevor used this line. He was listening to it and he was trying to figure out, is it Peter putting on a voice? So Trevor at this point is fairly convinced. He's like, look it. You know what I mean? So in this letter, Trevor told the police that he believes he knows who the Ripper is, and he provided them with Peter's name and address. The problem was, Trevor was a bit worried. He feared that he had not done enough to get the attention of the police. So he went to the police station himself to speak with them directly. So Trevor, he's not holding back now.
Yeah.
Police took his statement, but there was yet another fuck up, and the report was mislaid. And the problem here, another problem here. That's a problem in itself, Neil.
It is. Because
Trevor never heard anything back, he thought he must have gotten it wrong, and so he let it go and continued his friendship with Peter. Trevor's girlfriend, on the other hand, she knew better, and she said that whenever she was around Peter, she had a churning in her stomach.
Well, you would, wouldn't you?
You would.
Taking piss for?
What?
Taking piss for?
No, I'm agreeing. I would be very upset to be hanging around, knocking about with Peter Sutcliffe. I'm around his son enough, and that's bad. That's too much for me. Now, Neil, the moment you've been waiting for. It was on Friday, the 2nd of January 1981, at 10:20 in the evening, that Peter was arrested in Sheffield.
What?
Was I not clear in what I just said?
I didn't know he was arrested in Sheffield.
Yes, he was. That's pretty much the only connection to Sheffield.
Whereabouts?
Here. This is your shining moment here.
Whereabouts?
Melbourne Drive.
Melbourne Drive. I'll have to look it up. He were going to go after a fucking chef lass?
He was. How does that make you feel?
Fucking... Well, it's still bad, but he went for West Yorkshire, but... Well, I suppose it got enough heat in Leeds, enough heat in Bradford, enough heat in Manchester to start going other way. Yeah.
Is it Melbourne Drive or Melbourne Road?
I don't know. I wasn't asking the road. I was asking the area, if Sheffield.
Yeah. I don't think...
You just tell me the fucking...
I don't think I need to be that specific. It was in Sheffield, Neil. It's bad enough, you know.
That's not funny, that, is it?
Earlier that day, Peter had changed the plates on his car that he was now driving, which was a Rover. After this, Peter went out looking for a sex worker. He first approached a 19-year-old woman named Denise, but she turned him down, later stating that the look in his eyes frightened her. I think she had a point.
So, right, I do know some of the red light districts in Sheffield.
You bet you do.
We're at Hillsborough.
No.
So it's making me weird out now, but I could have been where he'd been. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. It's one of those weird things, like sometimes when you, if you have any type of a connection or, cross paths or whatever, it does weird you out a bit, but it sounds so bad because it's like you're trying to make it about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, like when I said to you about the Ian Watkins Lost Prophets thing?
Yeah.
And it sounds so bad. It's like I'm making it about me.
Megan hugged him.
No, I didn't.
No, right.
I don't know why I sound like offended, but I literally had the tickets to meet the band. I just went home early. That's why I'm like, oh.
I do just want to set the record straight. I've never actually been to a sex worker, but like one of the red light districts, we had a warehouse where I worked, and I used to let them in to use the toilet and stuff in the night.
Right. Who are you trying to convince here, Neil?
Listeners.
Right. Anyway, first approached 19-year-old Denise. She turned him down because he looked like a fucking weirdo. Yeah?
Right.
Didn't like the look in his eyes.
I thought you were a good-looking fella.
Well, that's what people said. He wasn't an unattractive man, but he had those big, brown, staring eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love that bit, don't you?
You took offense to it, and that's why I like. You're always saying my eyes are terrifying, they're freaky looking, and all this shit.
Yeah. I
don't even have like really striking blue eyes. I have like grey blue eyes, like middle of the road white eyes.
Right. Do you know the way for our listeners, if she's annoyed and she's got nothing to say, the way she stares at me is...
I always have something to say.
Erica Kirk in that fucking interview.
No, how dare you say that about me? But you do always say that when I just look at you.
Yeah, you got nothing to say. So you just fucking stare at me.
I'll say it again, Neil. I always have something to say. Why do you think I'm on a fucking podcast? Fuck's sake. Again, we're getting off track here, right? Tried to pick up 19-year-old Denise, said, nah, bollocks to you. He then picks up a 24-year-old woman named Olivia, right? Finally got over that hurdle there, didn't we? Now, after driving to a more secluded area, they attempt to have sex, but Petey was struggling a little bit.
Stick a thumb up his ass. You okay?
Yeah.
It's just a bit of advice for the women out there if their husbands are ever struggling, just thumb up ass.
Yeah.
Why is it?
No, I mean, I don't think Olivia thought about that in the moment. And instead, she said that he seemed a bit nervous, tense, frightened even.
Frightened?
Yeah. So if you're around someone who's kind of reacting like that, it may put you on edge a bit. And she could sense that something was wrong. She began to feel like he had never intended to have sex, and that's when she started to question what he had paid her the £10 for.
£10?
£10.
Well, it's upper class.
But you just said
Sheffield.
about the thumb, maybe she did do that.
No, it's double because it's South Yorkshire.
Yes.
8th price in West Yorkshire.
So I've heard, yes.
Yeah.
Now, just moments later, headlights approach and a car parks up against Peter's bumper. And this was the police who were out looking for sex workers and their clients.
That's how he got caught in the act.
Well, I mean, he couldn't. Attempting.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Thumb up the arse in that moment and the headlights approach. Allegedly.
Maybe the copper walked up and went, what seems to be the problem? You can't get it up.
Possibly.
Have you tried sticking the thumb up his ass?
Maybe, you know?
That usually gets the motor going again.
Very helpful, South Yorkshire police, aren't they? Whatever your needs are.
If I were walking past with a dog, I'd be like, stick a thumb up his ass.
Dogging.
What?
Dogging.
With a dog? Yeah.
That sounds so bad. We're referencing a TV show where they're confusing dogging and dog walking, by the way. I don't know what you said with a dog.
So you drawing a dog?
Anyway, again, we're getting very off track here about thumbs and arses and stuff. Police ran his plates and they found out that the plates were not a match to his Rover, but actually were registered to a Skoda. Peter was fucked and he knew he was done for.
Yeah.
So before getting into the police car, Peter asked the officer if he can first urinate, which they allowed him to do. And after that, Peter is taken to the station. Now, once at the station, Peter requests to use the bathroom again, and they again allow him to do a little diddle-diddle.
Can I make an assumption?
Go on.
Well, he's got to the police station and he needs another piss. Men aren't like women. We piss. Fucking... It takes another hour.
Maybe he's upset with his thing. He's trying to see if he can get it going.
No, he dumped his hammer.
Mm-hmm.
The first time he dumped his hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, they've only come in contact with him for being with a sex worker and arrested him for his plates.
Yeah.
So this isn't the Yorkshire Ripper.
Yeah.
This is just some fucking guy. It's just it's a John, as they say.
What?
It's a John. The clients, you call him a John, don't you?
Do you?
A trick.
What?
That's what you say, isn't it?
Who?
People.
I've never heard that in my life.
Oh.
Punter?
You've never heard of John?
I've heard of a punter.
Oh. This was just another punter, Neil.
Yeah.
You know?
One of my regulars.
One
He's
of
a
your
punter.
regulars. Anyway, like I'm saying, it's not the Yorkshire Ripper in custody. It's just, this fucking sap who they've arrested.
With a floppy cock.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But while in the station, one of the officers noticed how similar Peter looked to one of the photo fits they had up in the office of the Yorkshire Ripper. And so the following day, the officers who had arrested him went back to where they'd allowed him to step away to urinate. And there they find a discarded ball-peen hammer and a knife.
Not a screwdriver. He's upgraded to a knife.
But he did use a knife before.
Oh,
He'd use a knife and a screwdriver. Yeah, like Peter, again, Peter used multiple things.
Yeah.
Now, they later found another knife, which he had hidden in the toilet cistern at the police station.
Like what a knob.
Yeah. They were certain they had the Yorkshire Ripper in their custody. And after this, Peter was transferred back to West Yorkshire. And during questioning, Peter was asked, quote, "Do you recall that before you were put in the police car at Sheffield, you left your car and went to the side of the house?" Peter replied, "Yes, I went to urinate against the wall." The DI says, "I think you went for another purpose. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think you're in trouble. Serious trouble."
Hold up. I'm now. South Yorkshire Police, I'm sorry if any of you are listening, but I'm deeply disappointed in you. Side of someone's house. So if that were my house, you were going to let Peter Sutcliffe with his floppy cock piss on the side of my fucking house? That's outrageous.
I understand you're upset. But remember, bigger fish to fry.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
But when they didn't know he was
You're upset
the
about the
Yorkshire
urination
Ripper,
of the situation.
yeah, they didn't know he was the Yorkshire Ripper. They didn't know he was going to discard a hammer and a fucking knife. They thought he was going to some innocent person's house to piss on the fucking wall.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't think he was. They allowed him to urinate.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they were telling him to
Piss on that house.
Yeah, do it. Do it. We'll charge you with something else. So, like I said, the DI says to him, "I think you're in trouble, serious trouble." Peter replies, "I think you've been leading up to it." The DI asks, "Leading up to what?" Peter answers, "The Yorkshire Ripper." "What about the Yorkshire Ripper?" asks the DI. Peter replies, "Well, it's me." The DI asks Peter if he would like to have a solicitor present, to which Peter replies, "No, I don't need one. I just want to tell you what I've done. I'm glad it's all over. I would have killed that girl in Sheffield if I hadn't been caught. But I like to tell my wife myself. I don't want her to hear about it from anyone else. It's her I'm thinking about and my family. I'm not bothered about myself."
No, absolutely not. You're not having contact with your wife.
The DI then says, "You didn't go to the side of the house to urinate, did you?" And Peter says, "No. I knew you were leading up to it. You found the hammer and knife, haven't you?" The DI replied, "Yes, we have."
Well, if we haven't, we fucking have now.
Well, I mean, look it. This is it. The Yorkshire Ripper was finally caught. And the hilarious thing is, his arrest came from displaying false plates. Peter did have a history of driving offences, and it was eventually part of the reason he was caught.
Yeah.
It all comes back round.
I wonder, would they have caught him? In all seriousness, if he didn't have illegal plates on, would they have caught him?
Well, they initially approached because he was with a sex worker.
Yeah. But he could have just said, "It's my mate." Start with a mate.
He did. He tried to say that like they were together, they knew each other, and she basically told him, "It's not going to work, they know me."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he did try it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I don't think, if you get pulled over for being a sex worker, I don't think you get searched. So if he could have just, or he could have hit the copper with a hammer.
This is the thing. It's like, okay, Peter was arrested, but it seems all, well, maybe it's just in my head because it's such a small thing compared to what we know he was doing. But displaying false plates is a fucking big deal.
Yeah.
You know?
And it won't work now. You know, because especially in the UK, in the cars.
Yeah, it's computerized now.
Scans the reg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, while speaking with the police, Peter confirmed that Wilma McCann was his first kill. He said that he didn't plan to kill her at first, but that she had mocked him and he became enraged. He said that he never kept any newspaper clippings but remembered all of the names of the women. So like Peter said, he wanted to tell Sonia himself, which he was allowed to do. Sonia asked Peter what was going on, and Peter told her, quote, "It's all those women. I've killed all those women." And Sonia replied, quote, "What on earth did you do that for, Peter? Even a sparrow has a right to live."
What? Oh, I was liking her as well. But like...
But no, I mean, she's still not happy about it. She's not saying it's okay. It's just kind of, again, this with Sonia where it's almost, it's kind of downplayed.
Yeah.
You know, it's a slightly odd thing to say.
But you've got to imagine, right, we've been together 10 years. Yeah? And there's been...
Do you know what I'd say?
What?
If you called me and told him that, fuck him in the nick. Huh? There you go. You proud of me?
That's what I was going to... It's probably just shock. She didn't know what to say.
But that's why I wouldn't... Okay, Sonia, like I said, is quite a character.
Yeah.
She's a slightly odd woman. But you can't... I don't think you can necessarily judge her in that moment. What the fuck are you meant to say other than fuck him in the nick?
And his floppy cock.
It's funny you actually bring that up yet again. Because we're gonna be mentioning Peter's genitals now in a sec.
Oh, they were all rashy and that, weren't they?
Well, no, that was previously. I'm sure he had it sorted out since then. After his confession, they realised that Peter had yet to be searched, and, holy God, were they in for a treat. Now, within his coat, they discovered that the lining of his pockets had been cut out, and this was in order for him to conceal his weapons deeper within the lining of the coat.
Yeah.
Within this lining, they found a pair of underpants. Peter's underpants.
Shit himself.
No.
Oh.
Peter removed his trousers, and although they were not surprised that he was not wearing underwear, as they already found it in his coat, they were surprised to see that underneath he was wearing a V-neck jumper exposing his genitals. Basically, Peter put his legs through the arms and left his prick and bollocks hanging out of the neck hole. It's quite an image, isn't it?
Why did you do that?
Well, Peter said that he was wearing the jumper as leg warmers, yeah? But after closer inspection, they saw that the fabric, which covered the knees, had been reinforced with padding. And just try, your face right now, you've literally got your gob hanging open. Just imagine you're having to do this. Like, no one really wants to do a strip search. No one's...
Yeah.
For either side of it. Imagine you're doing it. Particularly someone high profile like this. They pull it down and there's just, a prick and ball sack staring back at you through the neck hole of a V-neck jumper.
Like, I can't get that image out of my head.
Yeah, I know. It's something else, isn't it?
Fuck me.
Do you know what the image is to me, kind of? I feel like it would have been something I had somehow come across as a child. And it's ingrained in my brain now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? One of those like weird things that like someone's showing you on their phone or whatever. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's, you have to live with. I've been living with this for weeks now. You have to, well, actually, I did already know about it, but after reading about it in a bit more detail, it's locked in there now.
What colour was the jumper?
I don't know if I'm making this up. I want to say blue. I think that's in my head. I don't remember.
I've got green in my head for some reason.
I don't know why that's in my mind. That may be me, just what I envisioned. So you said about rashy, depending on the type of jumper, it might have been a bit rashy down there, to be fair. Not specifically on his genitals, because they were getting a bit of air.
Yeah, they were aired out.
But yeah, around that area, on his legs. It might have been, yeah.
Okay. Takes all kinds, really, doesn't it?
Ah, it does, yeah. Are you okay? This actually looks like it's bothered you. Like it's playing on your mind now.
Well, how thin were his fucking legs?
Peter wasn't a very big guy.
Well, his legs were longer than his fucking arms for a start, and then they'll be wider.
Oh, I'm not saying they were the full length down. I'd imagine it was probably almost like a cropped legging type of length.
Yeah.
You know.
You have shit stoppers on and all.
The socks wouldn't stretch up that far. He would have had to have the things if he wanted them to hold up, the actual hold-ups. That's what they're called, aren't they? When you get them little things for your socks.
Yeah, like mini braces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, with his confession, Peter was charged with the murder of Jacqueline Hill, to which Peter said, quote, "Well, I'm terribly sorry about this tragic loss to her family and friends, and I would do anything to alter what has happened. I'm glad that I've been apprehended because I was totally out of my mind when I committed this and other acts."
Out of your mind fucking putting a jumper on upside down. Walking around with your knackers out.
Yeah.
Fucking knacker bag just swinging freely.
Swinging, Neil.
Hang on, so why did he have underwear? It doesn't make sense.
Maybe put on afterwards? Before he goes home to Sonia?
So you think it's strategic to do with like DNA or something? Like ease of access to his prick and then... Do you think he was only doing that for the crimes?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
No, I don't believe that they were leg warmers.
Right, okay.
I think it was literally just he can take his trousers down and there's his knob.
Slap it about.
Yeah.
No wonder Wilma took the piss out of him. Pulled his jeans down. She was like, the fuck is that?
Well, that's a fair point now. If he was wearing it back then, like...
Yeah.
Can't exactly fucking blame her, can you? During a search of Peter's home, police noticed that the second largest knife in the block was missing. And it was a match to the one that he had in his possession, as well as Sonia confirming that she had bought the knife in question. They found the Wellington boots, which matched the prints at various scenes, and 3 screwdrivers were found in the glove compartment of his car. They searched the garage and found the specific screwdriver used to attack Jacqueline and a hacksaw. Now, the hacksaw is the one that was used in an attempt to decapitate Jean Jordan. The garage was where Peter cleaned himself up following an attack, allowing him to avoid Sonia suspecting anything, as well as the side door which led straight into the kitchen, allowing him to put his clothes straight into the washing machine.
See, do you know what goes through my head about the spouse?
Yeah.
In any case, I don't get it. Like, it's like you're a lovely lass, but if you started doing that, you know, and you were coming home at fucking all hours, I don't know, like, you'd be a bit skitty and stuff. I'd just be like, no, something's off.
Well, remember...
You'd be nervous.
No, I know what you're saying, but given his job, he would have been working long...
I said skitty, I think I meant skittish.
Skittish, I know what you meant, yeah. He would have been working long, not necessarily, you know what I mean when I say regular hours. It could be hard to determine, based on the distance he's going and obviously traffic and, you know, the whole lot, how long a drop is going to take him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you add that in, it's kind of a perfect storm. And another factor in Peter avoiding detection was that Sonia had worked nights in a nursing home. So this allowed Peter to move even more freely without notice.
Right.
Again, it's just perfect fucking storm. All of these different things, you know?
I just mean more, you know, you come home and you're getting in bed. I don't know. Even if you didn't say a word, I'd be like, something feels off.
No, I know what you mean. There's so many cases where it's like, how could they not have known? But seriously, there's so many cases where they did not know.
Yeah.
I don't think Sonia knew.
Right.
I personally don't think she did. How are you feeling?
I don't know her, so like...
No, but with what I've kind of told you, that he had the garage where he could kind of hide stuff. He had his car. He had the side entrance where he could quickly kind of nip in. Sonia was working nights, so he was able to go out and not be like, where the fuck are you going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, how long do you think Peter's confession took?
Fucking hell. He were a talker, weren't he? Like, 10 hours.
15 hours and 45 minutes.
Piss take.
Madness.
Not the band.
He said of his first attack, quote,
Took piss out my leggings.
I'd gotten depressed. I had trouble with violent headaches. I was out of my mind with the obsession of finding this prostitute. I'd been out with Trevor looking for this particular one and it was getting late. I just gave vent to my anger on the first one I saw.
Oh, the one who caused it all? With a fiver?
Allegedly.
I still stand by that. I'm not saying there wouldn't be a Yorkshire Ripper. It's very likely, but there still would be. But fact is fact. That.
It's not a fact.
Why is it not?
It's what Peter's claiming. I don't personally believe...
Well, if he's not a man of his word, he isn't, you know, anything else.
He's not anything else then. I do not believe that. I don't believe she was the cause of it. I don't believe it ever even happened.
Oh.
If I'm honest with you, I think Peter had it set up. I think he had a narrative set up.
Right.
Of what he can use and how he can kind of... I mean, look, you're kind of buying into it. If that was to be true, you can completely see his point. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean, see his point?
You're arguing that she's the cause of it. You've bought in to what Peter was putting out there.
Yeah, I don't think she intentionally thought, if I rob that fiver, he's going to go and slaughter
No, but
13
it's not the point, because whether she exists or not, or not even her, like that situation exists or not, Peter's put that out there and you're picking it up. Do you know what I mean? So if my theory is correct that it never happened and he's making it up, it's worked
Yeah.
There's at least you and some of our listeners who have agreed with you
Yeah.
that, oh yeah, it was the trigger. It was the
I
cause.
said they would. So if you were a sex worker in the early 70s,
But that was in 69.
In 69, in Bradford, and you robbed a fiver off someone and sent 2 goons after him,
Good for you.
email us. Let us know.
Now, when police held a press conference to announce the news that the Ripper had been caught, it was appalling, in my opinion. Instead of being pleased to announce that this man was now off the streets and would not be hurting any more women, they seemed to be beaming with pride that they had caught him. They seemed happy for themselves rather than relieved for the community.
It was the South Yorkshire police who fucking got him. What they fucking saying?
Yeah, but this is like, the team announcing, like, we've got him. And
Separate team.
What?
Separate team.
I'll mention the arresting officers again. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I do get your point. Instead of being like gleeful that we did it, yeah, it should be. The streets are safe.
They were just short of getting cigars out. Do you know what I mean? So moving on to the trial, when Peter arrived at the court, there was close to 2,000 people outside, all ready to rip him to fucking shreds.
Yeah, I've seen the photos.
They held out nooses and displayed posters which stated their hopes for him. Hang the Ripper. And in typical northern fashion, they chanted, quote, die, die, fucking die, you bastard.
Yeah, hang the bastard, I thought it'd say.
Would you like to hear how Sonia later described the public's reaction?
Bit over the top.
Quote.
What?
She literally said that she felt the public's reaction was, quote, a bit over the top.
Fuck off.
Deadly serious. Yeah.
A bit over the top.
A bit over the top, yeah. That's where Sonia starts going to my bad books. But again, she's just a fucking Sonia, I don't know what to say about you.
Yeah.
During the trial, there were said to have been between 30 to 40 journalists at any one time. Quote, seats that were normally allocated to relatives of victims went to the reporters. After Peter underwent psychological evaluations, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, which, I have to be honest, and not that I'm in any way qualified to comment on this, but I do not believe this to be true for a second.
No, I think he was just a prick.
My personal belief is that Peter most likely exploited his knowledge of schizophrenia from what he knew of Sonia's condition, both behaviours he had witnessed and, possibly what doctors may have explained to him about her condition.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, and I think he used this to his advantage because Peter wanted to be sent to a psychiatric hospital thinking he would have an easier time. Peter claimed that he heard the, quote, voice of God telling him to cleanse the streets by means of killing these women. Now, every time I hear this defense, it's just kind of like it's so overdone.
Bollocks.
It's, you know what I mean? It's so fucking stupid as well. You've already said in your confession that you were upset that you got scammed out of £5 and that caused you to hate all sex workers. So is that you're a snivelling little twat who can't get over it? Or that God was telling you to do so?
One or t'other.
Yeah. The only kind of other way is that, is he saying that after he did commit the attack because he was so triggered, that God in his mind was like, fantastic job, Petey, well done.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can see it fitting all around his narrative.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, I just think he's a piece of shit and he's going to look for any reason to take blame off himself. Whatever the case may be, Peter pleaded not guilty to 13 counts of murder, but did plead guilty to manslaughter on the grounds of diminished responsibility. Yeah, the judge rejected his plea of diminished responsibility and the testimonies of 4 psychiatrists. After just a 2-week trial in May of 1981, a jury found Peter guilty and he was convicted of 13 counts of murder and 7 counts of attempted murder. He was sentenced to 20 life sentences with a recommendation that he serve a minimum of 30 years before becoming eligible for parole.
What?
Yeah.
30?
Yeah, the judge said that this was an unusually long period, but that Peter was an unusually dangerous man.
But it's not enough.
No, it's not. But, you know, you and I both know a life sentence doesn't really mean anything in the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, it's very flimsy in a huge amount of cases.
Mm.
The judge stated that he felt Peter was beyond redemption and hoped that he never be released. So you got to remember, he's kind of working within what he's got.
Yeah.
He clearly does not want Peter out.
Yeah.
And he clearly will be of a similar opinion to me, and I assume you. He doesn't buy into the whole mental illness element. Although Peter was initially sentenced to prison, he was later sent to Broadmoor Hospital in 1984, where he spent the majority of his incarceration. He was sent back to prison, but we're talking decades later.
Sent him to Broadmoor so he could have tea parties with fucking Savile.
And Bruno. Yeah, just to do with that photo, it is real. The best part is, once Neil showed me, I was like, I've fucking seen that photo before. But Neil really, really threw me off with saying that Sutcliffe was older and fatter. He looks exactly like Peter Sutcliffe.
No, he does not. No, he fucking does not.
I could tell straight off seeing that it's Sutcliffe.
No, it looks like Peter Sutcliffe's let himself go.
No, you can tell who it is. The way you described him to me was when he was older. And he still looks like Sutcliffe just a few years on. Now, the photo you were talking about, I wouldn't have... I mean, I think now I would. But having seen it years back, I wouldn't have necessarily recognised Frank Bruno. It's only because of you unboxing that I now know who he is.
Yeah.
But that also brings up another interesting point. Another thing to further my allegations that you're the son of the Yorkshire Ripper.
Go on.
You have a connection to Frank Bruno. There's yet another connection, lads. Can you believe it?
Right. What she's talking about is, for a very short period of time, I went to another boxing gym to work on power. And the trainer there was one of Frank Bruno's trainers.
Yeah. And that was after there was the photo connecting Sutcliffe and Bruno.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's interesting, isn't it?
Never met Frank Bruno in my life.
No, well, allegedly, yeah. No, but look.
100% I've never met Savile in my life.
In all seriousness, that photo is very fucking sus. But just to, in fairness to Frank Bruno, it was said that he was kind of manipulated, tricked into taking a photo with Sutcliffe. So just in fairness to him, because I can't
believe that.
I can't imagine how it feels for the man.
Yeah.
If he did not know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that. Like, it's like I was trying to explain to you. Frank Bruno is
careful.
I think he's easy to be manipulated. I think that's an okay way.
You mean you think he's a bit gullible?
Yeah.
Or a bit naive or something?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the end of the Yorkshire Ripper, like the reign of terror. Peter is now incarcerated. During his time spent incarcerated, Peter was attacked multiple times. He and Sonia divorced in 1994, and he also made the decision to change his surname to Coonan, which was his mother's maiden name.
Okay.
On the 16th of July 2010, the year prior to Peter becoming eligible for parole, his sentence was changed to a whole life tariff.
Like, I don't think he'd have got parole anyway.
No, of course he fucking wouldn't. But I wonder why it was left so late.
Tease him. Make him, so he's like, oh, it's coming, it's coming.
I don't know the legal
Dangling
system.
Carrot
I don't know the legal system, what happened, or was it literally just a fuck up and they realised kind of relatively last minute, like, oh, better do something about that.
No, I wonder if it was dangle a carrot.
You reckon?
Yeah, I wonder if it were. Or it might just be, that's how it operated. It's like, that's coming up. So that comes up on the paperwork.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much faith in the paperwork revolving around this case. Do you?
No. But I'd like to think it was the dangling the carrot. Give him a bit of false hope, like, oh, parole's coming up. Go back out with my floppy cock.
I was about to make a comment when you said dangling the carrot. I was going to be like, what, like his fucking prick?
Yeah.
Now, in the later months of 2020, Peter, who was already in poor health due to heart problems and type 2 diabetes, contracted COVID. He was reported to have refused treatment, and on the 13th of November 2020, Peter died at the age of 74.
What?
Peter had previously said of his crimes, quote, "When the Ripper came up in conversation at work or in the pub, I was able to detach my mind from the fact that it was me they were talking about, and I was able to discuss it normally. This amazed me at times that I was able to do this."
Full of himself, isn't he?
Peter was a chatty fella. He had a lot to say. And it's, I don't know, it's almost, I feel like this kind of fucking, like, wanted to appear more cerebral, more intellectual. You know,
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It amazed me. Like, the way he said, oh, God. I'm so torn with that as well, because I want them to speak. I want to hear what they have to say, what possible reason they're going to give. Are they going to be completely honest about it? Or are they going to come up with a load of bullshit like he did or what?
Yeah.
But then I still get annoyed about it.
It's like, this right, this is going to sound bad, but there was actually a killer I had respect for. I don't know who the killer is. It was a TV show where Piers Morgan was going into...
I remember that one.
Yeah, and they went, "Why did you do it?" And he went, "Because I wanted to kill her." Like, he was just, there was no fucking fabrication, there was no reasoning, it was just, because I wanted to kill someone.
Yeah.
Why did you kill all them people? Because I wanted to kill them. Like, the way he was answering it was like, what else do you want me to say?
I don't remember that episode, but I do remember the one, I think that was the Piers Morgan show. I don't know, I can't remember. But they were talking to this guy, and if I remember correctly, he had killed multiple women. And they're like, "Did you kill this woman? Not to my knowledge. Did you know this woman?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge."
Yeah.
That was the answer to everything. You just put a different record on.
Yeah. No, with this guy, he was an older guy, but he'd been on death row for fucking, like, decades. And yeah, it was just, you could, he more seemed annoyed that he's having to answer it. He's like, what else do you think? Because I wanted to kill her.
To him, it was straightforward.
Yeah.
I want to do this, and it didn't matter about your life. I want to do it, and I did it. Yeah.
So I kind of had a bit of respect. It's like, for once, there's one that's not spouting, "Oh, God told me to do this," or "I thought it was an alien," or "No," or "The dog told me to do it."
Yeah.
That was a Sam one, wasn't it?
Son of Sam.
Yeah.
So, you know the way you feel like Peter was triggered? You know, that event in his life, being scammed by that woman, that was kind of the catalyst for him to go on and do what he did. Peter was actually always a bit of an odd bod, it seems. A friend of his sister would later recall that she felt Peter was, quote, weird, and that, quote, he used to frighten me. She remembered back to when she was about 10 or 11 and Peter was a teenager. She said that while visiting his sister Jane, Peter grabbed her and threw her down the stairs.
Rough balling, like.
She remembered another time where she had slept over at the Sutcliffe home. It was late at night and she woke up to Peter standing in the room where she slept. She shouted at him, asking him what he was doing. Peter just turned and walked out of the room without saying a word.
Okay, that's a bit...
That's no good, is it?
No.
No. His sister Maureen said, quote, "I've walked into the house many a time and he's just sat quiet in the kitchen without me realising for ages. Not reading or anything, just sort of sat there staring at space. Pete was one of those who could sit for hours on his own without getting restless. Like some blokes can't. They've got to be either watching television or talking to somebody or going out for drinks with their mates. Pete was quite happy in his own company. He didn't get bored." His former employee said that Peter was a quiet, sensitive model worker. He said that if you were to tell him off for, say, being late, Peter was quicker to cry than react in anger. Quote, his eyes would well with tears. He was a really quiet, conscientious, sensitive lad.
Fucking wet wipe.
Sonia's family also spoke of Peter. His mother-in-law Maria said, quote, we just can't believe it was Pete. He is so loving, so generous, so thoughtful. He would do anything for anyone if he could. He would give you a lift in his car, fix your car for you. Nothing was too much trouble for him. There was not a kinder man living under the sun. Peter would often drive Maria to and from the hospital where she worked. He told her that he was worried about her travelling alone in the dark. Well, I suppose Peter would know the dangers better than anyone, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, like, all this shit, he was, he's a nice bloke and all this. Not saying he wasn't.
But you know who didn't have time for him?
Hmm?
His sister-in-law's husband.
Okay.
He sussed it out, right? So his name was Robin, and he said, quote, I had been out with him to pubs in the red light district, and his main topic of conversation was sex and prostitutes he had been with. The man was such a hypocrite. When we were with friends, he would go on about men who were rotten beasts for two-timing their wives. He also spoke of witnessing Peter approach sex workers. Quote, it happened a few times when I was with him. He would just go out for 5 or 10 minutes with a girl and come back again. In the end, I stopped having these lunchtime sessions in the public houses with him. I found them too sordid.
Yeah, like, I ain't got time for that. If I'm going out for a drink with you, and all you can talk about is fucking sex, or even something innocent, or all you can talk about is football. No.
Well, I mean, no, I agree with you there. But I was going to say, to do with the whole, you know.
No. Right, if I had a mate who sat down with me at a pub and they wanted to talk about sex, but they were like, have you ever had this? Like, it's just floppy. I'd be like, Pete, have you tried, sticking a thumb up your ass? You'll be like a fucking rhino's horn.
Mm.
Why are you just staring at me?
No, I wasn't. When you started talking about it, I assumed the conversation was going about you and your friends, but you straight away put you there at the scene with Peter, you know.
Well, either or.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mm.
I'd give that advice to anyone.
I do take your point. I don't really get this whole thing. I think it's more common with lads that they behave in this kind of shitty manner. You know, I'm sure some women do it as well, but I think it's more common with lads that they talk about, cheating or whatever, and it's so fucking casual.
Mm.
And, one of their mates could, be the type that would never kind of do that or couldn't imagine ever doing that.
Mm.
But they still kind of just okay when it's their friend. I'm not saying you have to get involved.
Yeah.
But you can always say to them, here, like, can you just shut the fuck up? I don't want to hear about that.
Yep.
But they just don't. It is what it is to them.
I had a mate who was repeatedly cheating on his partner. Not only was he cheating on his partner, but the person he was cheating with, they didn't know about each other. So he was essentially cheating on both of them with each other. He had kids with both of them. And, it just keep going on about it. Oh, I'm going around to her house. And I just used to just shut it down. I'd be like, do you think you're fucking clever?
Mm.
Like, early 20s and your life's fucked. Absolutely shagged.
Bit messy, all right, yeah.
Yeah. When he got a third one on go.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Like, I was like, you're off your nut.
Yeah. This is West Yorkshire, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 That's what I used to say. Do you think you're clever? Like, do you honestly think it's clever?
Yeah. I know, and that's, like you said, like, look, I'm not going to fucking condone cheating, but I equally don't like to judge people because I don't fucking know their situation. I don't know what's going on. Same as I said about Peter's mother, Kathleen. If anyone has a right to fucking go off and have a fancy man, it was Kathleen.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I need to be involved in it. Now, if you're my mate, like a close friend, and you're saying, look, I've done this, has happened, I'm in a bit of a situation, I don't know, I fucked up. That's one thing. But when it's just like, it's so casual to you.
Yeah.
But like he said, Peter's such a hypocrite and other men were filthy, rotten beasts. It's like, all right, Peter, just relax. Anyway, We'll move on.
Mm.
Sonia later said, quote, I sat in a room for 5 hours while 5 policemen fired questions at me. It was a terrible ordeal. They went through my life with a fine-tooth comb. I knew nothing. Of course, the first question in people's minds is, did I suspect anything? Well, the police are satisfied that I didn't, and I can honestly say I knew nothing. The way I see it, I'm going to have criticism whatever I do. I know you can't hide yourself away forever, so now I've got to get on with my life.
I believe it. I don't think she knew.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think any woman could be with a man and even suspect.
No, and I think Sonia had enough going on, you know?
Yeah. What, with schizophrenia and that?
Yeah, so Sonia did have schizophrenia, and she, you know, we know she had relapses at times.
Mm.
And, you know, people were saying that, you know, stuff like she was very kind of, with her house, like it was immaculate.
And she had a sprog.
From, what? No, she didn't.
Thought they had a sprog?
No. You keep saying this.
Do I?
Yes. You know, it was kind of almost as if, like, if you sat down, if you went up to go to the bathroom, she'd fluff the cushion right behind you. You know, she was very, she ran a tight ship. You know what I mean? And Sonia was said to have been very much in control of the relationship. You know? Yeah, I just think, and then she was also working. I think Sonia had her own thing. I think Peter was almost secondary to her.
Yeah.
In that household. I mentioned that we'll come back round to Sonny Chef, the officers who had arrested Petey.
Mm-hmm.
So it was said that the officer who made the arrest of the Yorkshire Ripper would be given a promotion. But that was a promise made within the West Yorkshire Police, not South Yorkshire.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it was made in West Yorkshire. Right? So apparently it didn't apply, and the officer who had actually arrested him was still on probation at the time.
So he's a new officer?
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So that's I mean, look at the fucking head of the investigation in West Yorkshire.
So what's
Whereas
the
you
point?
got people on probation.
So what's the point of these detectives?
What do you mean?
But it took a new Bobby, to fucking catch him. While detectives were sat there with thumb up their ass.
They got that tip from Peter.
Yeah.
One of the fucking 900 interviews they had with him. No, but I mean, the way he was arrested, again, like I said, it wasn't they were arresting the Yorkshire Ripper. They're arresting a man who turned out to be.
Yeah.
But could you imagine that early in your career?
Yeah.
And you've caught one of the most notorious killers that even to this day, the UK has ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be a killer like that now. Yeah, you imagine you caught him and you're like, missus, get the steak on. Got a promotion coming. Then he gets told he's in the wrong county.
Outrageous.
We
mentioned previously that Wilma was a mother to 4. And as a young child, Wilma's eldest daughter, Sonia, was often left in charge of her younger siblings while her mother went out. Her daughter Sonia later said that she had actually been sexually assaulted at the age of 6 by one of her mother's boyfriends shortly before he took off. And she never told her mother about this.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, and after the death of their mother, the children were sent to live with their father. You know, Wilma may not have always been the perfect parent, but who is? But neither was their father, who was said to have been violent towards the children. In December of 2007, Sonia died by suicide. It was reported that she struggled with depression and alcoholism as a result of her mother's death. Sonia had chosen to go by her mother's maiden name, and in 2005, she spoke of the overwhelming reach of the Yorkshire Ripper's crimes. Quote, I think most people remember the number 13 for the number of women he killed. But what about the children? There's 25 of them, and no one remembers them. The person behind the hoax letters and tape was a man named John Humble. In 2006, John was sentenced to 8 years in prison for perverting the course of justice. He was released in 2009, and in 2019, he died at the age of 63.
Should have been sentenced to longer than that.
Yeah. I think that is
The damage he fucking did.
absolutely shocking.
But then again, do you think the judges in the courtroom were more like, yeah, you shouldn't have done what you did, but the cops were just... Like, I think the cops should have fucking got in trouble.
I would agree with you. I don't want to take away from what he did, but equally I don't want to take away from how poor their skills were during this investigation.
Yeah.
This case was a difficult one to look into, not just for the obvious reasons or the volume of information, but just how badly these women were failed. This is not just a case of a serial killer targeting women. It's a case that truly highlights the catastrophic effects of prejudice, stereotyping, and misogyny, and a case of how the police constantly and consistently let down the women in the north of England. When we speak of cases which involve a person who wants to rid the world of women of loose morals, it seems that whether or not that honestly was the person's intention, the police here reinforce this viewpoint. Well, Neil, that is the case of Peter Sutcliffe, also known as the Yorkshire Ripper.
Can finally say it.
Finally say it. Any thoughts?
Not really. I've fucking been saying it for a month now. Like, I haven't really got anything new to say.
Look, I knew the general attitude. I'm talking about before I looked into it a bit more in depth. I knew the general attitude from the police towards these women was not great. But in reading the specific words and phrasing they chose to use, I tell you, hits you across the face.
Yeah.
Like a fucking brick.
There is one thing I'd like to say. Like, for listeners who are from, well, not just from Yorkshire, anywhere, because no one's commented it yet. But this wasn't just me, it was everyone I knew. Yorkshire Ripper, it was, he hit him around Edwin Hammer, killed him, and scurried off. So I'd like listeners, if you heard that, if that was what you grew up to believe, let us know. I don't want to feel like I'm the only person.
No, I definitely don't think you're alone in thinking that. I think that is kind of the general, what people seem to understand about the case.
Yeah.
But look, there is so much to this case, and trying to fit this case into a roughly hour-long episode a week was quite a task. And the old dyslexia was flaring up during this, I tell you. But yeah, if you feel like I've missed anything or skimmed over, I apologise. Towards the end, obviously, with the trial, that's where I kind of tried to cut it down a little bit. I thought we'll kind of talk a little bit more about the women and stuff. But, like I said, I am one woman. Yeah. And it's a lot to try and fit in, especially when we try to do a new case each week.
Yeah.
We don't tend to do, like a 4-part thing. We usually try to keep it at 2.
Yeah.
If we're going to do more than one episode and something. But I mean, Petey did a lot. Yeah,
like if you are a new listener, you have to realise we don't have a team. This is the team. Well, we are a team, aren't we? The A team, aren't we?
Well, maybe the C team.
Megan gets all the research done. We record, I edit.
The C word team.
The what?
C word team.
C word team.
C word.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've been filthy.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Foul language.
Yeah. We don't use that word.
We try not to.
Yeah, you did, in fact, in part 3.
I was justified in my use of that word. But yeah, no, let us know if you enjoyed the 4-part thing. It obviously does take considerably longer, and I try to steer away from it, but just let me know if you'll be interested. Some of the other bigger cases, like Bundy Dam or that type of thing, if you would...
Panzeran.
Yeah, I know. From day one, you've been wanting me to cover them. And we will. I promise you we will cover them.
And my dad will keep messaging me saying, has she covered Pottery Cottage yet?
We're going to get to
Pottery
it.
Cottage.
We're going to, yeah, I know. Between you and your dad, I get a lot of like Sheffield recommendations. I say a lot. I have, there's two that you keep trying to bring to the forefront.
Two?
Yeah. I don't want to spoil it for if and when we do. Pottery Cottage, I did start. I actually got an audiobook and I was listening to it. And I can't remember why I ended up drifting away from it from a bit, but we will, and we'll cover it. But yeah, if you just let me know if you did like the 4-part thing, the 4-part setup, or if you'd rather me try and condense down the bigger case to a 2-parter. Did it drag on? How do you feel? Do you think it dragged on a bit too much, or did you like the format?
So I actually found it a bit easier for me to. I don't know how to word it. It felt a bit easier for me to keep up.
Okay.
Because you were going on about it for weeks and weeks, and I don't know. It just
going on and on about it.
It just seemed to sink in.
Yeah.
A bit more than when we're just doing a normal, just a one episode, a single episode.
So you won't be angry if in the future we do another 4-part or whatever?
No.
Okay. That's good to know.
As long as listeners don't bang on about it.
What do you mean bang on about it?
Going, gotta wait 4 weeks for the whole thing to be finished.
Well, that's why I'm asking, because I know some people like to wait, and it might be pissing them off.
Yeah.
They might be like, "Why the fuck have you done a 4-parter?" So I'm just wanting a bit of feedback, lads. Let me know.
So, oddity.
Well, do you remember last week I said we were going to continue?
Oh yeah.
So this week,
Izzy.
Otzi. We're talking about Otzi's newfound purpose. So, you remember us talking about Otzi anyway. You remember he's the Iceman. He had the 61 tattoos. He was balding, Neil.
Yeah.
That upset you. 5,300 years old or thereabouts.
Yeah, remember you laughing at me.
Yeah. You're very upset about that. But you remember him.
Yeah.
Like I said, Otzi has a new purpose. He has found a new career. He's become a baker. Well, he's not the one baking, but he has involvement in the process.
He better fucking not.
While studying the microorganisms preserved in and on Otzi, scientists were able to extract yeast, which they then used to make sourdough bread.
That's fucking grim. That's cannibalism. That's outrageous. Who? Italy? Italy aren't doing that. Say something.
I'm just letting you run with it. I knew this one would read. This is actually what I found out about first. There was quite a few news reports about this. And then I went back and found out his backstory.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, well, the yeast which they found in his body, it actually only lives in cold conditions, and they're thought to have entered his body after death. Would you like to hear what they said?
Go on.
Quote, "Eventually, we obtained a completely normal dough that rose within 24 hours. Basically, just like with ordinary yeast.
Yeah.
We made some really good dough with it."
So there's nothing special about it. It's just yeast.
It's a different type of yeast.
I couldn't give a fuck.
He also said, quote, "I've never baked bread before, and it showed. So the result definitely had some room for improvement. But as I said, these were our very first experiments."
For what?
Bread.
What do you mean, bread? You can fucking get yeast.
Quote, "We want to pursue this further and involve specialist research teams from the food sector in the process.
Force feed the bastards.
Bread is currently one of the obvious applications we're considering. Another is beer. We've already discussed this with experts from How do I pronounce that? Weinsteffen?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar.
It's a German brewer. I apologise. I'm just bastardising the name.
Yeah.
Awful. I told you dyslexia was flaring up. So, I know it sounds grim, given how they came across the strain, but these yeasts could end up being used for future fermentation, given the advantages of them being active at low temperatures. Now, there's actually 4 strains of yeast found, and a mix of both ancient and modern microbes. It has been said about Otzi that he is, quote, "not a static relic, but a dynamic biological system." Good old Otzi. Bread contributor, tattoo enthusiast, potential brewer, all-round interesting guy.
I'm going to ask again.
Yeah.
What's the point?
It's a different type of yeast.
But it doesn't do anything different.
It does. It's active at lower temperatures. Like, right,
Yeah,
I
but
know.
why does that matter?
Because it's the future of fermentation, Neil.
Do you know what you can do with normal yeast?
What?
Put it in the chiller.
No, but it's a different thing. I don't know all the fucking science behind it, so I don't want to try and start debating you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm saying take out where they found it, right?
Yeah.
If they didn't release where they'd gotten it from, Otzi.
Yeah.
And you just heard that they discovered a new type of yeast which is active at a low temperature, you'd be like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. But it's the fact that it comes from Otzi's arsehole.
Yeah. No, I get it's putting you off a bit.
A bit.
Yeah.
I hope they fucking ate the bread themselves.
And maybe they did.
Dirty bastards.
It's interesting though, no?
No. Not at all. What next? Seriously, what next? Extracting yeast from a corpse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tosses.